table, bullying and name calling. Oh, you're falling from grace, acting out in hate when all you crave is love. Innocent people live in fear. They may have just landed here for safety, but irrelevant of why. You don't need to make them cry with your hate speech. Celebrate diversity. If you take the blinkers off, you'll see we've got space and cultures to embrace when all you need is love. You're so brave behind your keyboard, saying what you want to say. Well, you can knock yourself out, 'cause our friends are here to stay. Just be kind. You never know when you'll need it. Just be kind. Life is better when you feel it. Just be kind. Just be kind. Just be kind. You never know when you'll need it. Just be kind. Life is better when you feel it. Just be kind. Just be kind. You still got time. Thank you. So I just have one more for you. I released a single. Made me quiver. A coffee to get to know each other. Is that something you'd consider? The new terrain I wanted to explore. Inhibitions held me back before. When I climbed out of myself, you guided my hand to an avenue unplanned. I opened up and let you in. Time to begin again. Love is love. Your hair fell past your shoulders, so soft to touch, I bet, but I don't know. I picture my hand gently brushing your sweet face, appreciating how it glows. Your energy invites my nerves to leave. Take a chance, my heart is on my sleeve. When I climb out of myself,
appreciate the strength and the diversity that each of you brings to our community. In Limerick, we believe that everyone, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, or class, deserves to be treated with dignity, respect, and equality. This city is enriched by your presence, and we are committed to ensuring that you feel supported and valued as you start on a new chapter here in Limerick. Together, we will build a community where everyone can thrive. Thank you for being here, and welcome to your new home.
Especially in Dublin, but they've just set up in Limerick, so.
And I'm from Muslim Sisters Aware Limerick. Muslim Sisters Aware is a registered charity in Dublin, and they were established in 2010. We've only just started up here as a Limerick branch in April. So as the Muslim Sisters Aware, we hope to strengthen the minority communities and integrate with the greater community here as well. And we are doing this by collaborating with the already existing charities like Doris, Novus, and Samaritans, Midwest Simon. So we've already been in touch with a couple of them, and we are helping Midwest Simon currently with translators. And we are also doing a donation of baked goods twice a week to Novus for their hot soup run. And we are very delighted to be a small part of this amazing job that all these charities are doing. We also aim to create a safe space for women and children and empower them. And we also hope to host interfaith gatherings for the community to come together. We had one during the end of June, but we hope to have some more as well. So we are open to any questions or misconceptions you might have about Islam, because we are a peace-loving community, and that's why our greeting is Assalamu Alaikum, which means peace be upon all of you. So I'll leave you with that greeting today. Assalamu Alaikum to all of you.
Hello. Okay. Thanks very much, Sean, and thanks to the organisers of this. It's fantastic to see these numbers here today. It's fantastic to see that you brought the sunshine with you. Originally I grew up in West Limerick, and I've lived in the city of Limerick for the last 30 years. If you add the numbers together, you'll know then that I'm obviously quite old. I'm not like one of those other people who can read off their phones the speech, so unfortunately I have paper in front of me. I asked to speak today because I just want to make some reflections about history, and in particular the history of where we stand now. As a history teacher, one thing that I know is that history is very messy, and we often hear people say, oh, well, this is Irish history and this is Limerick history. But in actual fact, there's a myriad of stories that I just want to maybe just make reference to today that, as I say, have a relevance to where we stand. And because where we stand is along a waterfront, and for the vast majority of this city's history, which is over 1,000 years, it was on this land, right going down to where the Clarion is, that most of the engagement with the outside world was true. Came through the port. It was here that ships, along with goods, came and went, bringing cultures, different languages, stories, and customs, both to and from different places. And while there are thousands of stories associated with the docks, I want to just reference two today. The first one was in 1868, a few decades after the famine. And the story begins in a different country. And it begins in Norway, where a ship called the Hannah Power A ship full with 400 emigrating Norwegian men, women and children left Norway to go on a journey to a new life in Canada. But halfway across the Atlantic, the ship was severely damaged in a storm, and it had to turn back and limp to shore, and where it ended up was here. The repair works on the ship would take several weeks. This was 1868. And in the time, after some initial trepidation and fear, the poor passengers on the ship were made feel welcome, and indeed were comforted, because 3 of the children on the ship died while here in port, or on the journey in, and actually ended up being buried in St. Munchin's graveyard up there on King's Island. So people of Limerick both comfort them and welcome them. The ship eventually resumed its voyage, and almost a century and a half later, through a community research project, dozens of the descendants of that ship, who are now scattered across North America, actually recorded messages of thanks and for the hospitality and the care and the safe harbour that they were shown here in Limerick to their beleaguered ancestors. The second story from the docks, which I think has a relevance to where we stand, is from a few decades later, and some of you may have heard of this story, and it was about a ship that docked down here, and it was during the Irish War of Independence, when Britain was still in control of this part of the country, and the people on the ship heard, while they were presumably in the pubs or on the streets around here, of what Ireland were doing. And one of them, Jack Monday, a West African fitter, decided, along with his colleagues, that as they left the port, they would actually fly the tricolour as a sign of their recognising and supporting what was going on in Ireland. But of course, they were not meant to fly the tricolour, and as a result, the ship was actually boarded. There was a scuffle, and actually Jack Monday was removed from the ship and put in prison here in Limerick. Now, some of you will be aware of the name. It was an act of anti-colonial solidarity, and the name, of course, is commemorated by the cafe up there towards Holman Gate. And in a strange way, I'm also reminded here about a similar act of anti-colonial solidarity that also occurred in this city a few decades later, because while in the 60s and the 50s, many African nations followed the course of Southern Ireland in casting off the shackles of colonialism. And one such country to emerge from British rule in 1964 was Zambia. And only weeks after becoming the president of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda came to Europe to develop links in trade and education. And one of his first stop-offs was right here in Limerick. It was his second visit here. He had established friendships here, and it was here in this city that one of the strongest messages of solidarity to the new emerging Zambia was sent out, when the city decided to award Kenneth Kaunda freedom of the city. He was the first person after John F. Kennedy to get freedom of the city. And so it was that 60 years ago, this year, on a November in 1964, he came in from where he stayed on the Ennis Road, along that bridge behind us there. The papers at the time say the crowds lined the street to cheer him on, an act of solidarity. So that's in front of us, behind us, and I'll take briefly to the left of us, because quite a lot of us have gone down Bedford Road there today to come here. And this is an extension, the end of Bedford Road. And that type of solidarity that we saw with Kaunda wasn't new to Limerick, because as some of you will have noted, if you walk up there to where the Buttery Cafe is, that was the location of what was called an independent chapel. And in the 1840s, 4 African-American slavery abolitionists visited this city, and they spoke there to large crowds. But what you mightn't notice when you read the plaque is that that actually occurred over quite a long space of time, over 2 decades. So what it points to was that there was a very active anti-slavery society in this city that went on for, as I say, over 2 decades. They did not only organising speakers to come in, they persistently spoke out and worked on their cause through fundraising, petitioning Parliament, began bringing speakers like Frederick Douglass to Limerick. Part of a network of such societies, mainly driven by women, they never hesitated to speak up about the horrors of slavery, and eventually through hard work of people like the Fisher sisters in this city, they would see its abolition. So the horror, I suppose, that's where I'm coming at in regards to those stories, because the horror most of us have felt about what was happening in Belfast last weekend means events like today are a natural and good first step. But if you are to build a city and county which embodies a sense of community solidarity, where everyone feels safe and people are prepared to speak up where they see racism and discrimination, you need to build common ground with others. And they might be choppy waters we're currently in, but with collective action we can steer them into a safe harbour, because more unites us than divides us. And we can see from just those 4 stories the solidarity of the Jack Monday and the Conda, the safety offered to those in the Hannah Parr, and the speaking out of the Anti-Slavery Society, that many have walked that path to freedom in this city and county. And we could have gone anywhere in the city today and similar stories would abound. So in conclusion, to win, you need to take these conversations into everywhere people gather, your GA clubs, congregations, church congregations, residents associations, your trade unions. As a trade unionist, I welcome the strong suite of anti-racism work and training that the Irish Congress trade unions are currently rolling out. I hope that other civil societies will also, civil society groups will also follow suit. But in the conversations that you will have in those spaces, justifiable concerns over housing and public services need to be heard, discussed, respected and acted on. What they must not become is an excuse for racism and attacks or scapegoating of the most vulnerable, because it doesn't matter to me, and I presume to everyone around here, if one's granny lives in Abbeyfield or Accra, Ballyneety or Brazil. If you call Limerick your home, you should feel safe and valued, and know that your neighbours, your fellow workers, your community will look out for you. You have power in your communities and your workplaces, and in striving to make Limerick a better and more welcoming and fairer place for all, you are following a path walked by many before. Gurv Margaret, Berbua, Limanukaboo.
Here, and they've asked me if they can sing the national anthem of Pakistan, so I'm going to allow them to do it.
Pakistan, Jan Pakistan, ऐसी ज़मीन और आसमान इनके सिवा जाना कहाँ बढ़ती रही ये रोशनी चलता रहे ये कारवां दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जान जान पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जान जान पाकिस्तान.
I think you all agree that was worth it, wasn't it? Okay, and before Vicky and his buddies play us out, could I just remind everybody the regular Palestine protest will take place at what time?
My hometown in a hurry, but I will be fine. Crossing the line, the shades of green are everywhere here in this new land. Oh, it's so grand, a place of music and carnivals. Greets you with smiles, people alike. a chance. Ooh. Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Clouds are complemented by rainbows drawn around the misty sky. Sweetest exile. Sure, it gets a little gloomy, but I can survive. It's a new life. Adventures in every nook and corner, and no, I'm not the one to be shy, so I don't mind. It's a new life, sweetest exile. Sitting and humming by the river, trying to find myself through my songs. Do I have something new to say? Sometimes I can't find my way. I keep searching anyway. So many distant peaks to climb. It's a new life, sweetest exile. Ooh. Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Ah, ah. Ooh. Ah, ah. It's a new life, sweetest exile. It's a new life, sweetest exile. It's a new life, sweetest exile. And then it was my first winter in Ireland in December 22, and the weather completely changed, and I'm not used to this kind of a weather, but like living in a different place with a different aesthetic, with so much nature around, new songs came along, and next song is this song called Catharsis, and it's just about the things I saw while just sitting by the Shannon, sometimes sitting in parks and looking at the trees and thinking about how everything changes from one form to another and how we're all just one. This is called Catharsis. Capture the depth of your thoughts before they die out. Feed all your infatuation for abstractions. Let go of yourself like you do when you skydive. You'll see it all, and then you slow down your movement as you reinvent now. You are a snowflake that has reached the leaves. Settle down in new reality as you are seeped in. Now you're a part of the tree. How could it be? We cannot comprehend these mysteries. something more than the life that you see. There's nothing you can do except waiting.
Time to think